Hi, I'm Sarah, and that's Belle. Welcome back to my van build. Things are finally starting to take shape, and I'm super excited. It feels like only yesterday I had a bare van and didn't know how to take the drill bit off of my drill. Since then, I've laid insulation in subfloor, built a wheel well box and bed frame, and, to my standards, can officially call myself an electrician. Kind of. Anyways, it's time to move on to the ceiling featuring some special help. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My last video, you saw me install my solar panels and my electrical system. And frustrations aside, problems aside, it was probably one of my favorite things I've done so far. That probably sounds so bizarre to hear, but I really love doing the electrical. So now it's time to move on to the ceiling, but before I can actually install the ceiling planks, I do have to build out some framing and structure first. It's going to be a complicated journey, but all for a good reason. You will also see a new face in this video. She wanted some YouTube screen time, so I definitely put her to work later on, and I'm super thankful for that. And before we get started, thank you so much for the support as always. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So let's get started. Alright, so now that I have my solar panels sealed and screwed into the ceiling, it's rained a couple of times and nothing's leaking. So now I'm going to use my adhesive spray and put the rest of the Reflectix insulation up on the ceiling so I can move on to the next step and build out my ceiling. Okay, so now that I have completely insulated the ceiling of my van, I have the Reflectix going all the way across and down on the sides, and then I have my XPS foam board on the side. Next is putting up the studs of my van. Since it's not a normal metal roof, it's fiberglass, there is that interior skeleton. So I did go ahead and cut some studs. They're 1x3s, and since my roof does have a little bit of an arch, I used the chop saw just to shave off the end to where it kind of slants down to help form with the natural curve of the van. So I'm putting these wood studs up over the metal beams and kind of spacing them equally all the way throughout the van. Some of the studs just slid right into place, and others I really had to wiggle in there. I don't know if the ceiling was lower in some spots, but it was definitely a challenge I was not expecting. Okay, now that I have my ceiling insulated, I went ahead and put these studs up here, and my cousin Belle is here to help me today to glue and nail the studs in. Okay, so I'm doing this a little complicated, and you might ask why. Well, I am 5'8", so I don't have a lot of headroom to be working with, so I'm trying to maximize as much headspace as possible. And since I have these beams here, what I have above the beams is the initial stud. And then in order to put the ceiling planks on here, I have to use these 1x2s, and I'll be putting this on side of it to make these flush with the metal bars so I can put the ceiling planks on. Sounds complicated, that's because it is complicated. So let's see if me and Belle can actually get this accomplished today, and hopefully I can have a ceiling really soon. Fingers crossed. So we'll be liquid nailing this to the 1x3 up here and using my nail gun to secure it even more. Alright, that's the plan. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, break! We did our first piece. A learning experience, to say the least. Would you like to do the honors of caulking?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up.
It's fine. Life is full of mess-ups. This van is a testament to how many mess-ups one can do. Just do the top, okay? Gotta pull hard. There you go. Beautiful! A masterpiece! So me and Belle officially finished all of the middle pieces. Right here we have, what did we do, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 of those. So now is time for the side. So we went ahead and cut these 1x2s 9 inches long. So we're only putting the 9-inch 1x2 right now on one side of the 1x3s on the top. And then on the back side is where the side studs are going to connect to that. Not quite sure how that's going to work yet, which is why we're still making progress, and we're just going to do the one side for right now. And I will try to figure out what I'm going to do next. Ready? Break.
Break.
Okay, so I just went and purchased my 16 gauge wire for my Air Max fan, and I'm going to hook it up today. I have my handy dandy shish kebab sticks that I'm going to tape the wire to so I can feed it from the ceiling down into the van. Alright, this gets harder every single time I try to do it. So I'm going to take my other wire and just tape it to this one and feed that through since it's already in. My friend Logan told me to do that. It was after I did everything though, and I'm like, well, too late now, but not too late for this. Oh my gosh. That was so much easier. Wow. Thank you, Logan, for that tip. So these wires are gonna go to my 12-volt fuse box. Alright, so now that I have my 16 gauge wire, I have the ring terminals on it. They're down below at my 12-volt fuse box, ready to be hooked up. I have them coming up here. We're gonna go ahead and connect these wires with the 16 AUG wires that are actually attached to the Maxxair fan. Connect these with the splice connectors that came with the kit. Hook it up on the 12-volt fuse box, and fingers crossed we have a working fan. Also, whoever's idea it was to create black as the positive and white as the negative versus the red and black should be fired from electricity. Why would they mix it up? I don't understand. Okay, now that I have everything connected up top, it is time to connect the wires down below. First, I'm going to turn off my solar switch and turn off my battery switch. Okay, so the maximum amp draw that the fan will pull is like 4 point something, so I'm going to use 5. Oh wow, and I pulled out the right one. So push that in. right, everything is hooked up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my battery switch and it should work from there. Oh my gosh, did you hear that? On. Oh my gosh. I'm an electrician. I did it. It's working, featuring all the dead love bugs. What's up? I'm back. Who is she? It's me. I got my hair done. It's blonde. It's straight. Anyways, last time I was working on the ceiling, Belle was here to help me. We finished all of the middle studs and we did half of the top studs. The reason I only did half the top stud is because the other side is going to have a vertical stud go with it. And I wasn't exactly sure how to make that work quite yet. My original plan was to cut off a little angle of the vertical stud right here, attach it before, and then go ahead and put it up. That did not work out. So the new plan is kind of the same. I'll have my vertical stud right here. It's gonna go behind the 2x4, screw it in right there, and then I have my 1x2 that's gonna go up top. I did a Craig jig right here. It will be secured to the top like always, and these will match up, and I will screw it in right there. And this will allow me to put my planks horizontally along the side. This is going to create a little lip for me right here. It was either lip or like put it directly on top of this. And I was like, let's just do a lip. Why not? I currently have that right now, and you should see the amount of stuff I just have resting on here. I'll put my phone on here, my lever, some tape. So I'm sure I will do that in the van as well. So I was like, why not? So right now I'm going to take some of the 1x2s that I already have cut and go ahead and Craig jig them, and we'll see where I can get today. If not, Belle will be able to help me tomorrow when she comes back. Okay, so I just put up this piece of 1x2 just like I did all the other ones. I caulked it first, then the nail gun. So I have this 1x2 going vertical. So I'm going to put this up here. And I'm going to first pre-drill the 2x4. Then I have this drill bit to make sure the screw sinks all the way. This is my first go round, so let's see how successful I am.
Park at night, the same place that I learned to drive. Decided I was cutting ties and never came to say goodbye. And it seems true of fate that I should move on Mother's Day, crying in the parking lot. Jesus, someone...
Okay, I screwed it down successfully. Now I just have to screw in the top. I think this is the best invention I've ever come up with. If you notice the wires are in front of the stud, no worries. I promise I figure it out eventually. Let's make sure that's in. No, she didn't. Trent, come see! That is solid. Solid.
Jesus, someone make it stop. And my brother, he's old now. He doesn't cling to my hand like he used to. So I wonder if I sold out, if I wasted all the moments we're reduced to. Was it all that you wanted and then some? You couldn't leave them at all if you tried to. This is all that I want till my time comes. I never wanted to, anybody has to. Are you old now? Did you wise up? Do you see it doesn't turn out like you hoped for? I'm old now, and I've dried up that feeling now.
Okay, so I am finishing up my last vertical stud right now. As you can see, it's really dark, so I'm gonna finish that. Then all the studs are done except for the back where there is no beam up top, so I have to figure out that. But everything's going great. I finished it all. It's all level until on the last one, I bring down the drill and I yank a wire. The wire for my fan. So my fan, you can't see it, but it's disconnected now and I have to figure out how to reconnect it. But it was going good. It was going too good. And then this one right above me, I had to pull it out in order to put those last side top studs on. And then I start drilling and I'm like, I never moved it back. So I drilled it into the 2x4 on the side before pushing it back. So not a big mistake. I just fixed it. So I'm finishing that up. But it's been a good work day. It's only been half a work day because it's a weekday. So I had my actual job. But a lot of progress done. Belle did not come over. We'll see if she comes tomorrow. But I still got a lot of things done, so I'm super proud of myself. Alright, so I left off last night. Many mistakes. One I was not able to fix just yet. And that is the wire to my fan. I yanked out. The connection wasn't loose. I just yanked it so hard. I'm going to see if the splices are still salvageable. That is already in there. But if not, I luckily had some laying around the house for 16 auger wire. And I can use that. This is like the most impossible splice to crimp. I am trying with all my might. I don't think it budged. Am I crimping the wrong part? No, I'm not. Why would it be crimping the wrong part? Alright, I got my connection back, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on my switches so we can get this fan going because it's getting a little stuffy in here. Alright, turn on. Go. Why isn't it going? It's on. There we go. Alright, now we're back to where we were yesterday before things went wrong. So all of the studs are completely done except the very ends behind the camera. So I still have to build something out for that, but that plan is still brainstorming up here. Okay, so I'm at the back of my van, and like I said, this is the last stud that I have to build out. And it's not like the others because there's no metal bars at the end. So I'm going to be doing things a little out of order. I'm going to have to get my vertical 1x2s, cut those and put those up first. Make sure they're the same angle as the other ones in the front of it. And then I'm going to measure the other main studs, glue the 1x2s on both sides of this 1x3, put it up, drill it into the sides because these are what's going to actually be supporting the main stud. Unlike the other ones, I have the bars supporting it. So it's going to be a little different. Hopefully it works the first time with no mistakes.
Turns out like you hoped for.
Okay, so yesterday was an absolute bust of a day. I built out the stud in the back, and when I went to put it up, nothing worked. I was just super frustrated. It was probably my first real breakdown. I was crying. It was just a mess. So today I am trying something different. It's up right now. I just have to go Craig jig the top stud and go ahead and screw that in. I did do things a little bit differently. Instead of 1x2s, I have 1x3s. I also put a chunk of wood in the back to make sure that the angle was exactly like the ones in the front and that it wouldn't move whenever you put pressure on it. I have this piece of wood up here, cam buckle to the studs in front of it to make sure it's level with the stud behind it once I screw that in. So honestly, I think I'm ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and Craig jig the remaining stud, screw that in, and fingers crossed, it turns out better than yesterday did.
I wanna live just long enough to miss the minute that you die. Wanna live in repetition till I feel I get it right. And I'll see you at the finish line and you'll hobble over.
Okay, I officially have all of the studs complete. It's level, it's flush. I couldn't be any happier. That was so much harder than it had to be. Lessons learned, of course. Tears shed. I also got a tape measure cut yesterday. So the next thing I'm going to do, back here is going to be a shelf, if you remember from my video where I kind of planned out what my layout was going to look like. So I'm going to have a shelf that's sitting up here on this lip. And in order to secure the top of it, there needs to be something going on right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take some wood that I already have, and I'm going to secure it horizontally from the back stud to the stud right in front of that. Alright, now I have a framed out ceiling. Thank you so much for sticking around. Belle, thank you so much for the help. I really could not have done it without you. You were a major help, and now you're like a professional caulker, so that's great. Belle did kind of dip off in the video when I said she was going to come back. She did end up coming back, but it was while I was having my like mini breakdown, so I did not video that day. I did not get anything accomplished that day, but Belle did return and watched from afar. Before I go, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one where, fingers crossed, I actually finish my ceiling and lights. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those in right now. Perfect timing. That's good. Okay. Wow. This is a miracle.